Are you so tired of that daily energy roller coaster? You know the one, where you're flying high one minute and crashing the next. Well, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to explore how 7 specific foods can help you get back in the driver's seat and enjoy smooth, stable energy all day long. Oh, that 3 p.m. wall. It's real, isn't it? One moment you're crushing it, totally focused, and the next, you're in a total fog, you're exhausted, and you find yourself reaching for another coffee or, let's be honest, a sugary snack just to push through the afternoon. Well, it turns out that slump might not just be the day catching up to you. More often than not, the real villain of the story is this wild roller coaster ride that's happening inside your body, and it's all about your blood sugar. But, and this is the best part, here's the good news. The very thing that can cause the problem, the food you eat, can actually be the solution. It's all about making smarter choices, not about depriving yourself. Okay, so before we jump into that tasty food list, let's do a quick deep dive into the science. I promise, it's simpler than it sounds. Because when you understand how these foods work, making those smart choices becomes second nature. So first up is something called the glycemic index, or GI. The easiest way to think about it is like a speed limit for sugar entering your bloodstream. High GI foods, they're like a Ferrari flooring it. You get a super fast spike followed by a huge crash. Low GI foods are more like a steady, reliable cruise control for sustained energy. Next, we have our secret weapon, soluble fiber. I want you to picture a sponge in your digestive system. As your food breaks down, this amazing sponge soaks up the sugars and forms a kind of gel. This gel dramatically slows down their release into your bloodstream. So no sudden spike, just a nice, gentle, steady flow of energy. And then there's magnesium. You can think of this mineral as the traffic controller for your body's entire energy grid. It plays a massive role in how well your body uses insulin. Basically, it helps your cells get the message to use sugar for fuel, which keeps the whole system running smoothly and efficiently. So let's put all the pieces together. It goes like this. You eat a food that's low on that glycemic index and high in fiber. That fiber sponge we talked about slows everything down. Sugar enters your system gradually. And what's the result? No spike, no crash. Just smooth, stable energy to power you through your day. See? Simple. All right, science class is over. Now we get to the really delicious part. Let's see what this actually looks like on your plate, with 7 absolute powerhouse foods that put all these principles into practice. And just before we dive into the list, here's a perfect real-world example. That slice of white bread, that's the high GI Ferrari. Fast spike, quick crash. But a simple switch to whole grain bread gives you that steady cruise control. This right here is the power we're talking about. Small swaps can have a huge impact. Kicking things off, we have 2 of nature's absolute superstars, berries and leafy greens like spinach and kale. Seriously, think of these as your first line of defense against those dreaded sugar spikes. I mean, they're the total package. They're packed with that sponge-like soluble fiber, they're incredibly low on the glycemic index, and they're just loaded with vitamins. Tossing a handful of berries into your yogurt or some spinach into a smoothie is honestly one of the easiest, tastiest ways to start your day off stable. All right, next up, let's talk about the crunch factor. Nuts, seeds, and legumes, think chickpeas or lentils, are your go-to trio for healthy fats and our key mineral, magnesium. So here's how they work their magic. The healthy fat and fiber team up to create a powerful roadblock, slowing sugar absorption right down. And at the same time, that manager mineral, magnesium, is helping your body use that sugar way more efficiently. Even just a handful of almonds for a snack can make a massive difference. And finally, let's just bust the myth once and for all that all carbs are the enemy. They're not. It's time to meet the smart carbs. Foods like quinoa, oats, and sweet potatoes that are basically designed for sustained energy. You see, unlike simple carbs that your body burns through in an instant, the complex structure of these foods means your body has to work harder. It breaks them down slowly. This gives you a steady drip feed of fuel for hours, not minutes. Swapping out your white rice for quinoa? Total game changer. So you can think of this as your personal toolkit for building a stable day. Each food group has a really specific job. Berries and greens, they're the brakes with all that fiber. Nuts and legumes are the managers with that crucial magnesium. And whole grains are the long-lasting fuel. When you put them together, you create this incredible system for stable energy. Okay, we've gone through the science, we've gone through the foods. Now let's get to what is arguably the most important part. How do we turn all this knowledge into actual action? So what's the big takeaway here? Well, it really boils down to 4 simple rules. 1. Make fiber a priority to slow things down. 2. Choose foods that give you that steady cruise control, not a drag race. 3. Get those mineral managers on your team. And 4, when in doubt, just choose the food that looks the most like it did when it grew in nature. And please remember, this is not about being perfect. It's about progress. You absolutely do not need to overhaul your entire diet by tomorrow. The real power is in starting small. Just one simple swap this week can make a huge difference in how you feel every single day. And of course, just a quick but really important reminder here. While we love exploring all this science, this is not a substitute for professional medical advice. Everybody's body is different, so please have a chat with your doctor or a registered dietitian before making any big changes to your diet. So I will leave you with this one final thought. Looking at everything we've talked about today, what is the one food, the one simple thing you could add to your plate this week to start building a more stable, more energized day?